actually did not start on the refuge. It started about 12 miles northwest of the refuge on private property, northwest of Waycross. It was started by a downed power line. It had some high winds, and the power line hit the ground and caused a spark and a fire that ran eventually 12 miles into the northwest corner of the refuge. I'm a forestry technician here at Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge, and I've been here for the past 23 years. My primary duties deal with managing the longleaf pine forest here on the refuge. We're actually trying to restore that entire longleaf pine ecosystem. But it also involves fire activities such as prescribed burning and wildfire suppression.
At its peak, we had 3 different type 1 fire teams fighting it from different angles. So there was a refuge federal team on the east, there was a state team on the west. To the south, there's another federal team, and all these volunteer fire departments were all doing their part to stop that fire, push it back, contain it. Sometimes you have to burn out. When you get a break in the weather, you can burn out and remove some of that fuel. Because remember, we didn't get this fire contained until November, okay? We were still fighting it all the way through the summertime, and it wasn't considered out until December. They worked at the most 16-hour shifts. Fire is imbued with a culture of safety. Every group that goes out has its own personal safety officer, and they're an experienced firefighter that has been doing the job they've been doing for years, and now is up at the level where they're watching their backs. Every aircraft operation has air safety officers that are on top of them orchestrating all the work that's done. So in effect, there's a tremendous amount of stress, but it's well orchestrated and it's managed. I'll compliment all the thousands of firefighters we had. Wildlife are really interesting, but if you're dealing with native wildlife that have evolved over the eons and the landscape that they're living on, you'll find they're pretty resilient to what happens to them. And so you'll find our key species are extremely resilient to wildfire. Fire is one of these fickle things that it's different every time. It burns a different pattern. So as long as you have this landscape with a variety of patterns, you have all sorts of built-in resilience and diversity for your species. So our wildlife really came back quite well. If it wasn't for droughts and fires and floods, the Okefenokee would just evolve into basically a forested bog with a lot less diversity than we have right now. So it's integral to the health and long-term viability of the Okefenokee swamp and the wilderness area to have fire and droughts and floods. It's what makes it, so unique and beautiful.